Hello, guys. Not a fun video for me to make, but a necessary one. This video should be unlisted. So if you've gotten this, it is from the announcement post on somewhere or some social media, whatever. Basically, we had a cheating situation in Titans League, which required a lot of investigation and a lot of stress, a lot of time investment, and a lot of frustration and sadness, whatever, on my parts. And so I felt that I should talk through how we got to some of the findings. And I should do that for community transparency, but also because I feel I deserve to actually express the emotion because people are going to ask me nonstop about certain things. And I'm not going to want to go through this whole 20-minute thing every time. All right. So Titans League, bronze is happening, and players have the opportunity to qualify for a 10K league and actually the 25K league gold league through that. So it's like kind of both. We had a lot of players sign up. Everyone's taking it seriously, right? And I know the majority of any player that signs up and plays this game. I play at the elo of a lot of these Silver League players. I have been around forever. And one name that signed up was a little surprising to me. I had run into them a bit on the ladder. So I did know them, and this was the account named Don Cabron. Now, if you do your research, you go back to Voobly. Don Cabron was an old Mexican player, did play on Voobly, so I remembered that name. And then I remembered playing Don Cabron at various points within the last 5 or 6 years. The thing that was confusing to me is like Don Cabron kind of like somewhat appeared out of nowhere and got like pretty good, like really fast. That wasn't that surprising to me because a lot of people got really good really fast, right? So I was like, oh, okay, this guy's taking Titans League seriously. He got to 2,400 elo. Super cool. Well, then when the signups rolled around, we had an interesting scenario where the Discord name for the player signing up wasn't Don Cabron, it was Tata K. And the backstory on Tata K is an old Mexican player who used to play. And Tata K actually had some cheating controversies in the past, okay? And so without needing to get into that more, I was like, okay, this Don Cabron, let's look at the account again. And I also noticed that this account was formerly named Tata K, as well as a couple other things. So I was like, this is kind of weird. Like, is it Don Cabron? Is it Tata K? Whatever. But then we got reached out to by players in the Mexican community who saw the sign up, who know Tata K personally, and they basically said, that's not Tata K. Tata K doesn't play anymore. And I did not take their word for it because someone might be jerking me around. I pursued that further. Tried to reach out to Tata K, had to do a lot of translations. I went way further than I needed to. Point is, not Tata K, okay? So then I was like, well, that's weird. And I was like, is this person Don Cabron or Tata K? Also, the Discord account was super sus. It was created the day of the signups. Like, who doesn't have a Discord account at this point? It was kind of weird. And so I reached out to Don Cabron and I said, and I messaged him and was like, hey, like, who are you? Are you like Don Cabron? Are you Tata K? And they say, I'm Tata K's friend. And so again, that was sus because Tata K's like, I don't know this guy. I talked to everyone in the Mexican community. No one knows this guy. There's an event with Mexican only players. This guy's really good, could make some money and a name for himself, not in the event. No one knows this guy. And so we're keeping our eye on it. And we found that the server data for this account never matched a player from Mexico. So the server data was always for a player who was most likely in Argentina or Brazil. We then got chat logs, and the chat logs that this person would speak Spanish. So we kind of assumed right off the bat, okay, if this is somebody else, this person is likely Argentinian because of the server data and also the Spanish language. And I didn't have a lot more than that at that time. I didn't do a lot of comparisons from of some of the things I'm going to talk about. But it was very much like, this is super sus, but I got to keep my eye on it. If anything pops out that's weird to me, then we're going to pursue it further. Well, when he played his first round, there was something that was noticeable there. The players post their pings to show their server data. and the server data matched a player from Mexico, but the wording on the server list was English. It said like connection, whatever's there. I'm not going to look it up, but like it was English. And there's nothing that weird about that, except for the recorded games for Don Cabron were in Spanish. And so if you have a Spanish version of the game, it doesn't say English words on the server area. And also I noticed the screenshot was really super blurry. So I was like, this kind of feels like somebody went to a stream and took a screenshot of someone else's stream for their servers. All the data we have is this person's best server. The one that's auto-matched on in the game is not from, from that area. So I was like, that's kind of weird. But we're still going to keep an eye on them. We're going to see how things go, see how things play out. Second round comes up. Don Cabron is scheduled to play against Beery. They scheduled to play super last minute, like 20 minutes before they're supposed to play. Don Cabron, basically, he backs out. He was kind of a jerk in what he had said to my admin. And he said he had to travel for the next 5 days. We said, we can't give you enough time. Like, you got to play. You scheduled this. Can you not do any other day? Very quickly, no, can't play. I give admin win. Disappears. Beery gets admin win. After that result, I did not feel right. I was very confused. So many people are taking this seriously. This player rose up in rank out of nowhere. Why communicate? Why confirm something if you're going to have such a big trip? So many question marks in my mind, as well as there were some rumblings and there were some chatters that I caught wind of in the community. And so my theory was that whoever this player was, if this was somebody else trying to sign up, it wasn't someone who wasn't already in the bracket. This very much felt to me, I mean, it's a 2,400 ELO player, feels kind of sus out of nowhere. They're saying all these things that don't make sense. I was like, this is someone trying to double up. And it is an Argentinian. And so I looked at every single player in the bracket, not just Argentinians, to see who has actually played Don Cabron before. Not the old Don Cabron account, which does exist on AOE2 Insights, by the way. That's different. All the data on that is different. Who has played this Don Cabron account? I played it. Almost everybody has played it. A lot of people played it. Beery didn't. And I was like, oof. Okay. Is there a chance that that's him? And, he got matched against himself here. So basically, long investigation from there. I got chat logs. We looked through every chat log. This is dating back to when this account became active back in 2024. There were chat logs that indicated familiarity with certain players, meaning they didn't say who they were, but they would make a reference to an inside joke. They would make a reference to they would talk to someone like they knew them or knew things about them, which felt off. And I had to ask some context on and find details out. There was also messages with like rivalries, like, more aggressive messages, which indicated some dramas there, and I'm like, okay, this player's established. What's going on? What's this doesn't make sense. We compared APM of Don Cabron's account to Beery's account. And this is where it starts to get really crazy. And we compared it with all other accounts, by the way. Don Cabron's ELO, Don Cabron's APM was basically exactly at 60 EAPM over 800 games. And Beery's, over 1,700 games within the same period, was also averaging out 260 EAPM. It was virtually identical. The times at which they play, also basically identical. All these things lined up. Civilizations that they play, also very, very similar. Style of play, also very similar. But still, I was like, these could all just be coincidences. These have to just be coincidences. The whole way through, as I'm watching Rex and looking at chat logs and we're trying to sort out details, I'm like, this has to be a coincidence because this is a crazy thing to do. And so we ran we investigated further. And this is where I felt that it was conclusive. We did a report which tracked if a player had ever overlapped while being in a game. So when a game starts to when a game ends, there's a timestamp for all of that, right? And so it's no longer looking to see if these players played each other because they could have somehow missed each other. But it's like, have they ever been online in a game at the exact same time? Even for 1 second, 1 second overlap. So that could mean 1 second before someone resigns, another person starts the game. That's 1 second. That's what we looked for. And we looked in the wide ELO range to the higher ELO range. Every single player had many overlaps with the Don Cabron account. Many overlaps. Except for Beery. Beery had 0. There was none. And the second lowest, by the way, was a player from Asia who virtually has basically a completely different play time because of time zones. They barely play. And they even overlapped 9 times. So it's like 9 for like someone extremely unlikely and 0 for Beery. There's other details that made it very clear to me. And other things that I don't necessarily think need to be shared. But I do think what is important here is once we had enough data ourselves, and there was more, I went to Beery and I said to Beery, hey, we know this is you. Really important that you're honest with me. How things go from here is determined based on how you respond, okay? So remember, these guys had never overlapped, ever. 0 seconds since March of 2024. I send the message. 15 minutes later, it's a miracle. Oh my God, out of nowhere. What is this? Beery is in a game and Don Cabron's in a game at the same time. It's crazy, right? 0 times for, 2,500 matches, but now it happens. And what it was, Beery was in a public game, like a public lobby that didn't have spectators on, so you could see he was online in a game. He was versus like a 1600 or something. And then Don Cabron was in a ranked game playing. And I mean, that's pretty clear to me. I'm like, okay, he got the family laptop, he loaded into a game against someone, and he just went AFK or had someone else play, and then he plays ranked. Like he realized, oh shit, I need to create an alibi right now. And so guess what? The ranked game ends, really intense ranked games. 2 minutes later, Beery's out of the training game. 5 minutes later, same deal. Training game starts, ranked game starts. 2 minutes afterwards, it's like he got up from the computer, walked over, and left the other game from the laptop. So to me, he just created an alibi, okay? So I gave Beery the opportunity to be honest. He comes back. I didn't give him any evidence we had. 0 evidence we had with that initial message. He comes back to me and says, it can't be me because we were just in games at the same time. I was doing coaching while he was in a ranked game. So like he gave me the alibi he just created in front of me. I had already watched dozens of games. Like we were on top of this. I literally sat there. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. And then he also had said that he was playing training games earlier that day and that Don Cabron had played a lot of games. So he couldn't have done it because he played training games versus a player. He sent a screenshot of like one of those games, which is not an alibi. I went to that player. I got the practice game recorded games. They have timestamps. And you won't believe it, but it was Don Cabron in games for a couple hours. The ranked games. Don Cabron offline. Beery account online. Training games. Beery account offline. Don Cabron back online. Like, all the times perfectly lined up. There was no overlap. There was no question of an overlap. It was definitely him. And I said to him, I said, Beery, I just saw that. Like, clearly you were just creating an alibi. He very quickly was like, okay. He's like, I understand that you think this. I can't tell you why these things are coming back that are pointing it towards me. But if you think I did this, I can't play in TTL anymore. And he gave Miguel an admin win. I just typed it and sent me a screenshot of it to indicate I'm done. I'm giving Miguel an admin win. To me, it felt like he was very quickly trying to escape. Just be like, whew, I got caught. Let's just bail. I gave him ample opportunity. I went back again later. I said, dude, it's your last chance, it's your last day. Please tell me. And he just still said it's not him. And so when I compiled all this info, and again, there's a lot more to it, I obviously went to World's Edge with it, gave them all my details and all my stats and all the things that we brought in, because this is very serious. Separate Discord accounts, lying to me on who he is there, just it's ruining opportunities for other people. Very well, if he would have been somewhere else in the bracket, he would be doubling up in Silver League, making double the money. This is horrible. And on top of it, we presented the facts and I got lied to. So anyways, World's Edge did their own independent investigation, which I cannot comment on, and confirmed. It was definitely Beery. So anyways, World's Edge has made a statement, which I'm going to read now, and you may be able to read. Following a review conducted by the World's Edge team, it has been determined that the player known under the alias Beery has registered and played under multiple nicknames, DS Beery and _ Don Cabron, for the World's Edge sponsored event, Titans League. In accordance with the rules for integrity of the competition, this behavior constitutes a serious breach of tournament regulations. As a result, Beery will be banned from participating in all World's Edge sponsored tournaments for a period of 3 years, effective immediately. World's Edge maintains a zero tolerance policy towards actions that undermine fair play and the integrity of our competitive ecosystem. We remain committed to ensuring that all participants comply with the same standards of sportsmanship and respect for the rules. Signed by Nilly, tournament coordinator for World's Edge. And so, yeah, obviously we had him kicked from TTL. I would have had my own say on if I would have allowed him back. But this is allowed me to be human for a second. Really, really shitty. So, yeah, massive consequences for him for these actions. I really hope that he will be honest in the face of, undeniable proof. I tried to make this quick. I'm trying to coordinate the announcement with World's Edge at the moment, and I'm very stressed. But I don't know if that will be the case. I hope I'm not under fire for this action because the evidence is clear. There's no chance that it's a screw up. It is very clearly him from all the details, all the build up to it, really, but also just like the things World's Edge looks into, they obviously can confirm it. I am so heavily conflicted with the emotions I feel on this. Beery is such a unique player. He's so unique in the AoE2 scene. I know he has a lot of fans. I know he has a strong community. I know he runs a clan, DS, which have many players who have opportunities because of him. This is not like a nobody in the AoE2 scene. This is someone who's been around a very, very long time. But this was a multi-stage lie. Back to when I messaged Don Cabron and had conversations. There were more smoke screens that he tried. I'd like to think he got too deep in the lie and felt like he could not possibly face it because of how bad it is, and he probably thought it could just go away. But the reality is, I made it very clear, and I basically approached him as a friend. I was essentially pleading with him, like, dude, stop doing this. Like, I have the evidence. Please be honest. And I continued to get lied to. This was not a quick thing. This is a serious thing, right? Like, for me to build this case, I had to spend so much of my time, energy, and effort. I've been exhausted. I've been stressed. I really haven't been able to sleep. It's unfair, dude. It's unfair. And so the team hasn't deserved this. The tournament hasn't deserved this. The other players have not deserved this. And so it's just really crappy that it happened. So, yeah, I think that's essentially it. I'd love to say more, but I feel a mix of disrespected. I feel like my intelligence is insulted. Like, I'm not going to figure this stuff out. And I feel sad because Silver League was made for players like Beery. Yeah, Silver League was made for players like him who have really unique styles, who can practice and take it seriously, which apart from this, he always has. And I also feel sad because it's disrespected everybody else. And now we got a headache at the start of the event. Last thing. I'm pissed because, like, previous seasons of Titans League were fine, man. Titans League is so much more work than other events. We wanted to continue to grow the scene and to expand this. And to do this in any other event that I do, sure, whatever, I'd still be upset. There'd still probably be really big consequences. But like, I feel like this goes against everything that I was trying to do and that we've tried to do with expanding into the Silver League in the first place. And so I just find it really disrespectful and really hurtful. And I think World's Edge having a big penalty for this does hold merit. And yeah, that's it. So I'm really sorry that this has happened. I did not want this to happen. I also didn't want this to be a 20-minute video, but I did my best with one take because we have to keep the tournament rolling. So Beery and Don Cabron both obviously out. What our actions are is the players who Beery and Don Cabron played, they will receive the winnings. So they will get $50 for their troubles. Maybe they feel disrespected. I don't know. The goal of having these leagues is to have the best possible players fighting and competing together. And so we felt the best action, considering our timeline and considering the situation, was we have the 8 best players, so highest ranked players based on our ranking system, who had lost in round 2, play an 8-player knockout bracket to get the final silver spot. So there will be a couple people who will have an additional opportunity to try and make it in the final silver spot. I hope people understand, and I hope people are kind of on board with moving forward here with Titans League. And I appreciate everybody's understanding. And thank you to everyone who helped around the community, both fans, players, my team, and World's Edge. But yeah, that's it. Thanks.